What's up, my homies? It's Edible Incredible, and today we're going to rank 5 things that I want to see the most in Tears of the Kingdom. These things are a little on the crazy end, and most likely they all 5 will not be there, but in a perfect world, these are the 5. I'm going to start with one honorable mention before going in, and that is a hookshot. Obviously, Link can already climb almost everything if it isn't Sheikah technology or Malice. But if he had a hook shot like he did in Twilight Princess, the double claw shot, he could fly around, attach onto things. He literally would be Spider-Man at that point. And okay, number 5 is definitely something that I am simply hopeful for, but not fully expecting. In Breath of the Wild, we had bite-sized shrines, 120 of them, and 4 divine beasts that acted as the dungeons. A lot of people did not like these divine beasts, so I know that Nintendo will do something different. The question is, will it be more on the traditional dungeon side, or on the shrine side? I can see a hybrid of both. But my number 5 is, of course, from my nostalgia, is a forest temple in some form or fashion. Doesn't need to be as awesome as Ocarina's Forest Temple or Twilight Princess's Forest Temple, just a forest feel dungeon in general I would love to see. Interestingly, the Zonai seem to have originated from the Faron Forest, and the Zonai obviously have a huge impact in Tears of the Kingdom. If there is a Zonai dungeon, it could be in the vein of a Sheikah dungeon and more Sheikah technology-esque, but it could also be in the side of a forest-feeling temple. Now, number 4 is another traditional concept that I would just love to see. My favorite traditional boss, probably, is Gohma. I would love to see Gohma. This shot here shows something that I thought was Gohma, and I made a little YouTube short about it, but I don't think it's Gohma because Gohma typically has a huge eyeball. And I'm kind of happy about that because the Ice Gohma, I don't even know how I would have felt about that. I would rather Gohma in a dungeon, in like a shadowy, dark dungeon, or in a forest dungeon. Regardless, I would rather Gohma be a huge, scary spider like we saw in the Wii U tech demo, which was before Breath of the Wild even released. Hopefully they kept that on the back burner and they're finally going to use that in Tears of the Kingdom. That would be awesome. My number 3 is pretty simple, and it's very open-ended, but it is also something that the Zelda series does not do very often. 4 and 5 is something that is traditional in the Zelda series that we did not see in Breath of the Wild, and so is my honorable mention: Hookshot, Forest Temple, Gohma. These are things that they could bring back. Number 3 is a thing that they do not do very often. They love their cliche happy endings, but it does not need to be a part of an ending, but I just want tragedy in this game. They said it's going to be dark. I want tragedy. I want despair. I would not mind a death. I know that is sad, and a lot of people are like, no, Zelda, don't die. I love Zelda to pieces. She's beautiful in this upcoming game, but I just love tragedy. It makes the story so compelling. It makes every nook and cranny of the storytelling so interesting. The lead up to tragedy, it's awesome. Yes, we had tragedy in Breath of the Wild. The champions died, but we still hear their voices. Their souls are still there. An example that I was on voice chat on Discord a couple of nights ago, and we were talking about, me and an admin, we're talking about our gripes for Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess does things very well, but it also missed out on a couple of things which would have made me and my admin very pleased. But then again, they like cliche endings. They don't really like destroying and changing it up with a bad ending. I don't necessarily need a bad ending, but I want some form of tragedy. In Twilight Princess, Midna tries to fight Ganondorf, and Midna teleports you and Zelda out to Hyrule Field. And immediately after, Hyrule Castle explodes, boom, and then we see Ganondorf with Midna's helm, or whatever it's called, crushes it in his hand, and immediately we think, holy shit, he just killed Midna. That's ridiculous, that's nuts. That would add so much depth and evilness and epicness to Ganondorf's character that was missing in Twilight Princess. But we do get a beautiful ending at the end where we see full form Midna. That is awesome. I have nothing against that. But can you imagine if Midna was dead? The somber feel that we would feel at the end. If you are against that, that is fine. But I'm somebody that just loves tragedy in my anime and my stories. I want some form of tragedy in this game, which I think is a solid chance of potentially happening. Zelda's probably teleported to the past or something similar to a Dark World or whatever. I don't know if she's gonna actually die, but I'm all here for it. My number 2 is more gameplay focused, potentially, and exploration focused. we have the Sky Islands, the beautiful Sky Islands. That in itself, I am so excited for. But to take it another step above the Sky Islands, I know it's gonna be a huge premise of the game. There's gonna be so many of them. We're gonna go super high into the sky. But I want to see Ancient Skyloft. Ancient Skyloft, or Ancient City in the Sky. Some people say the Ancient City in the Sky is Ancient Skyloft. Obviously, Twilight Princess is way after Skyward Sword, but regardless, that'd be really cool to see the remains. We already saw Fi, or Fi, however you want to pronounce her name. The Master Sword got bright and apparently talked to Zelda. Fi talked to Zelda in Breath of the Wild. So they didn't completely ignore the Skyward Sword lore. That would just be so awesome to see Ancient Skyloft just decrepit. Or, because we're going to go so high into the sky, the moon is so low. So being able to get to the moon because we go so high in the sky, I would take that as well. Or, this sounds crazy, this sounds absolutely absurd, but we go so high into the sky that we are on the cusp of space. I know, these hopes are crazy, but any of those three I just mentioned are my number 2, and that would be frigging epic. My number 1, the thing I want the most, revolves around probably my favorite villain in media, Ganondorf. I want him to be super reflective. Sorta akin to Wind Waker, but doesn't need to be exactly like the Wind Waker. I just want him to be very reflective and thoughtful about his past. Tell me everything, Ganondorf. Tell me what your feelings are, what happened to you, what's your feelings on the Garuda. Give me a sit-down therapy session, Ganondorf. That is what I want the most in Tears of the Kingdom. I would prefer him to have a heart and not be straight evil, but at the very least, give me a therapy session. Tell me everything, Ganondorf. And well, to put it simply, that is my top 5. Let me know some of your crazy, biggest hopes for Tears of the Kingdom. We are hours away. You might even be listening to this after the release. Either way, thank you so much for watching. There will be more videos as this game released. I will probably do more non-scripted videos like this, since I want to enjoy the game and not get bogged down too much by scripted releases. But scripted releases will be back in a couple weeks. I want to go through the game, enjoy the game, take my time with the game, sniff every blade of grass, but I will do some non-scripted reaction type stuff pretty soon after the launch. And well, to the next time we meet, as always, enjoy these days, enjoy these hours, enjoy the hell out of this game, and well, stay awesome. As always, I hope you all stay hyped. Peace!